Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, everyone. Now, for the Doctor Who fans among you, I have a surprise special guest. Many parts, quite a long relationship, quite a long career with Doctor Who. Best known, I think, as Nyder, is Mr. Peter Miles himself.
Hi.
And yes, and I thought the first topic is going to be slightly sobering, but you were not only a colleague of Lis Sladen many times, but of course her neighbour. And yeah, so well,
we're starting with this little tribute to Liz. Yeah.
So what about the? Can you remember the first time you met Lis Sladen?
It must be the era that I would have first worked with Lis Sladen as Sarah Jane would have been the invasion of the dinosaurs, I imagine. It must have been. Which was, do you know the exact year?
Ah, no, hang on, that would have been
1970, 71 or
I think
74.
74, I think.
74 maybe, before, yes, prior to Genesis. Very shortly before Genesis. Yeah. See, had I already done a Doctor Who complete story of 6 episodes prior to that?
You had.
I'd done Silurians, which is out on DVD, folks. Yes. I then found out at the cast, obviously the cast meeting, where we read through the script, I think, in those days, especially if it's just for one episode, you know, a 25-minute program, was it? Or 30 minutes, 25, was it? That Lis Sladen said to me, you couldn't give me a lift, Peter. And I said, why? She said, well... And I said, well, that's fine. I said on the way to Northampton rehearsal rooms.
Wow.
And from that moment, there was I seeing a lot of Lis Sladen, because I would collect her every day for, what was it, a six episode of... which one is it? We're talking about Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah.
Yeah, Dinosaurs, which is coming out, I believe, next year as a DVD, because we've done the voice commentaries, at least not with Liz, unfortunately. We've done the voice commentaries, and we've been interviewed for the DVD itself, so that's all wrapped up. And there was Liz telling me she lived, which is what, 5 minutes in a car from where I live.
Wow.
And on the way to collecting Lis Sladen, I'd pass Ian Marta, who lived, which is 4 minutes from me, and of course 5 minutes also from me now, this very minute I speak, is K9, John Leeson. So there was a cluster of heavily involved Doctor Who people. And Lis Sladen hasn't changed much, as everybody agrees, to the poor unfortunate year that she had cancer, which didn't leave her, which would be February this year, 2011. She always looked a hugely attractive lady, and had many fans from the start. So I drove her to Northampton for a 6 or 7 part episode. I always mix up the 7-1. I have done a 7 episode one. I don't know if that was the first one.
Well, I think maybe Silurians.
Silurians was 7, wasn't it? Yeah. I think it was.
I think it was,
yeah. This was directed by a lady called Paddy Russell. And Liz and I became friends, because it often happens when you work a lot with the same person, you become platonic friends, and Liz and I became friends. And it was before, I imagine it's before the birth of her lovely daughter Sadie, a lovely girl called Sadie, as everybody knows. I can tell you that, and I say this from my heart because she's a friend of mine, or was a friend of mine, Liz had a part of her nature as an artist, which was, I can tell you, a little bit uptight, and like a overwound watch a bit. So whether that was an insecurity inside her, because insecurity shows in many ways in many artists, I never knew, because she wasn't the kind of young lady that would tell me problems, although I saw a lot of her in my life. so she'd keep everything to herself. I had a long talk with her husband only the other day in Ealing, and he didn't either tell me about the artist Lis Sladen. But I did find her, there was something, the key word is, both in her kitchen, where I sat many times having tea and coffee with her in Ealing, when she moved even closer to me, even closer to me for years up to the time of her death. There was something non-relaxing within her. Brian Miller, who's a good actor by the way, and myself, may I speak about myself, when we're off work and in the kitchen with anybody, we are really ourselves, the real Peter and the real Brian Miller. And there was always something of Liz which had that in here was I can't relax because I haven't sprinkled the attic, or I can't relax because I haven't opened that script I should have opened. Do you get me? I don't know what to say about that, except that I do know for a long time Liz and I and Brian Miller were very good friends indeed. And indeed, Brian Miller and I are still very good friends. So we live near each other, we keep bumping into each other in Ealing. But Liz is a damn good actress. Let's get this one straight. Lis Sladen is a very good actress. She's a very attractive woman. She's a bit star-struck. I can say this now because we can all be honest. A little bit star-struck. That's to say, I've had a private lunch in a restaurant with Tom Baker, Lis Sladen, just myself, and the starstruckness showed there because she was eyeing, in conversation, three of us around there, Tom Baker for the hour and a quarter that we had lunch, the entire time. Okay, so I've got failings, Tom Baker's got failings. So why am I talking about failing? It's just that I always wanted to be a really good friend to Liz, because I've known her such a very long time, and it upset me. I can say that in all honesty. That if you have a private lunch with Lis Sladen and Tom Baker and me, who's quite well known in Doctor Who, as many fans know, there's three of us, and you should be yourself. Not Lis Sladen the star. Tom Baker's not a star when he has lunch with me. He's Tom. Do you get me? There was always that fence, invisible fence. But a lot of people in life are guarded. It's got nothing to do with necessarily acting. A lot of people are like that in life. You can know them for quite a long time, and there's always an invisible slight guard up about we mustn't get to know each other too well. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
It's very interesting, but I find that a little saddening. Now, going to better things, of course, the joy of working with Liz is wonderful, because she's a super girl at her work, and so very, very professional. It is a total joy to work with Lis Sladen, and you can imagine how many things I did with her, because the Genesis of the Daleks is so famous. And then, damn me, in the 90s, Paradise of Death was a massive hit on radio with Pertwee, Nick Courtney, Lis Sladen and myself. A massive hit. It got in the charts at one point as a CD seller.
Oh, wow.
The BBC rang me up and said, "You're in the charts, Peter, today." I nearly fainted. And the voice said at the other end, "Well, yes, you're. I think it's 19 in the charts today, and Madonna is running 20 at the moment." That's the funniest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Wow. Yeah.
No, that's the funniest thing anybody's ever said to me. Anyway, in my heart, of course, I'm very fond of the late Lis Sladen, and I also am very fond of her husband Brian Miller. So I have very warm memories of Liz always. So thank you for asking me.
So you were neighbours that whole time of something like 30 years, 40 years?
Yes, in the sense that in my car it was exactly 5 minutes to either of those two addresses. exactly 5 minutes. It could well be that I think I took her for Genesis of the Daleks as well, and I know I took her for Paradise of Death by car as well, to Maida Vale radio studios, famous studios at Maida Vale.
So it's where Sadie would have grown up.
Yeah, watching Sadie grow up all the time, and going to lovely Doctor Who conventions, Blue Box and heaven knows where, with Liz. And the last one I did with Lis Sladen wasn't that long ago in Glasgow.
Yeah. Well,
with the former wife of Michael Gough, who was in Doctor Who. What's her name?
Annick Wills.
Annick Wills, yeah, who's a lovely lady. That wasn't long ago. It really wasn't. Would it have been 2 years? It really wasn't long ago. The most 3 years. I think it was 2. It's very fresh in my mind. Anyway, thank you for letting me have a heart-to-heart tribute for Lis Sladen. Thank you very much.
And of course you bumped into Brian Miller quite recently, didn't you?
Well, I keep bumping into Brian Miller because we shop in the same little street. We meet in Ealing Broadway, where he also goes, because we have to go there for the bank and Tesco's, whatever, W.H. Smith's.
Yeah.
We've always got on like a house on fire, Brian Miller. Yeah.
And you said he seemed quite strong when you met him. He wasn't he didn't seem too subdued. He wasn't.
When I met him about 2 days ago,
yeah,
I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? Because they'd been married for over 40 years, I believe. Over 40 years, I believe. And I thought, do I just be honest? And I said, is it all right if I talk to you about your wife? And he said, certainly, Peter. And I could see that he was in good shape, which is a wonderful news. He wasn't a crumple wreck, even though he loved his wife dearly for many decades. He was in good shape, and he said, come with me, Peter, we're going to have coffee together in that cafe. And we had a proper chat for an hour. I was so pleased to see that he was together. You know, it was very comforting for both of us. He's got his daughter, wonderful daughter, that he loves, of course.
Who's also in some of the Doctor Who audios. I'll mention that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But another sad topic, obviously, would be when you mentioned him, Nick Courtney, where.
What can we say?
I mean,
I so admire Nick Courtney. I mean, it does upset me if I start talking about him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It does upset me, actually. I just so admired Nick. I just thought he was one of the greatest things in all those decades of Doctor Who. He was one of the backbones of Doctor Who. He was marvellous as a brigadier, absolutely marvellous. And I've worked with him so often, and at so many, and happier days when Michael Wisher was alive, the first Davros. I went to so many conventions in Great Britain. I kept seeing a lot of Nick Courtney. You know, he means, for some reason, he means a great deal to me.
It was a golden age of the show, wasn't it? And it was.
Yeah, I suppose so. They call it that, and the scripts were marvellous, as you know, with Terry Nation around and Malcolm Hulk around. Wonderful scripts. They were very special days. I know a lot of actors alive today who we all loved going to the Northampton Hilton, as we called it, as the dear late Michael Wisher called it, with a wry smile, of course, and a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, right.
We loved going there. Can you imagine going to the Northampton Hilton, rehearsing in a large, comfortable room, and then having lunch in the BBC canteen upstairs? I mean, that's like being in Hollywood and seeing which star is going to sit next to you for lunch, because upstairs was all the programmes that were rehearsing at Northampton, from light entertainment to serious drama. So you never know who you're going to have lunch with, you know.
Wow.
You know, a hand would go on your back, and it was Jack Warner of Dixon and Doc Green saying, "I've been told your name is Miles. Are you related to Bernard?"
Right.
I said, "No, I'm not. I'm not. Sorry, sorry, Jack. I'm not. I'm not related to anybody."
Oh, okay.
Or Lulu gave me a wink in the lift.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, she'd probably wink at anybody, but Kate O'Mara, the vamp of the UK and the US of A, baby. That wonderful actress, Kate O'Mara.
Yes.
She used to open the door with me from the lift, and we look at the canteen.
Okay.
And she'd say, "Oh, look, there's an ex-friend of mine." You know,
okay.
yes. Well, she'd admit that. You know, she had ex-friends.
Oh, right.
I suppose most attractive women do have ex-friends.
Oh, I see.
See what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And I'd say, "Where?" Wonderful days. And all the Z-Cars boys that I used to work with playing Shove Halfpenny outside the door of the rehearsal room. Mad on Shove Halfpenny. Wonderful days they were.
Okay. And of course you had something, or you would one day have something in common with Kate O'Mara, because she went on to become a Doctor Who villain and an evil Time Lord, didn't she?
Yes, but what's that got to do with Kate?
Okay,
I met Kate at NEC not long ago.
Oh,
Birmingham.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay.
Those huge meetings at NEC 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
Kate
Okay.
was there, yeah. She's also down to earth. Kate O'Mara's a star, but she's really down to earth.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She talked to me, or any actor, the same way she would talk to Laurence Olivier or Paul Scover. There's no sort of "you're a star," so you know what I mean? She's really down to earth.
Okay.
That's the real Kate talking anytime you meet her.
Okay.
She's a very lovely lady.
And you mentioned, of course, the original Davros, Michael Wisher. And
Who wouldn't? Yeah, go on.
Who wouldn't, indeed. Actually, you even mentioned him smoking, because I've actually heard stories that I think that I've never seen it, but there's a photo of him smoking through the Davros mask.
Through the Devers shopping bag.
Oh, cool. Oh, right, of course. Cause
Brown paper bag on his head
Oh,
for rehearsals.
right.
Yeah, smoke coming out the top.
Wow.
Tom Baker thought he was fantastic, and that's because Michael Wisher was fantastic. Tom Baker knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Baker's a very dear man, by the way. I know him quite well. He's a very dear man.
Have you been to his... Sorry.
Nothing.
Have you been to his house? Because doesn't he live in a converted vicarage with a headstone half filled out? Is it something? Does he still
I've
live
never
there?
been to a house because I don't phone him, he doesn't phone me. I've spoken to his agent several times. When
Okay.
I asked his agent to ask Tom something that I wanted him to do, which I won't explain now in show business. So no, it's not a secret. It was cancelled, that's why I don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
and Tom said, "Yes, I will do that for you, Peter." But it was cancelled, so I won't talk about it.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's lots of eccentric rumours, of course, about Tom Baker, that he lives in a converted church.
Well, he is eccentric.
He
He's
is
famous.
eccentric. Yes, famous.
I mean, it's capital letters. He's wonderful. He's just a wonderful, wonderful man, Tom Baker, and fantastically eccentric. I think it's wonderful. I love people like that.
And, oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, that's why he's the voice of Little Britain, of course. And he's,
Yes, and all sorts. Yes, he wasn't too happy doing Monarch of the Glen. He told me.
Oh, really?
Yes, he said. Am I allowed to say this? To do with scripts.
Oh, right. I'm sure.
He said, "Oh God, I did that episode the other day, Peter.
Oh.
Oh, that script. I told them, couldn't they rewrite page 32, 33 and 34? And the reply came back, "No, you can't, Tom. You're stuck with it."
Oh,
He was
right.
moaning about the script of Monarch of the Glen. I don't know if he retired from it. I suspect he might have.
Oh, I can. Yeah. I suppose that the temptation of that was when it was on, and the cast probably was.
I can't think of anybody in the entire acting profession I would like to work with more again than Tom Baker. It's just a total joy working with Tom.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be. He's such a character, and so big in every sense.
He has such respect for other actors. This is one of the key things to be a good actor. Maybe that's obvious, but I'm still saying it.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's sort of. Certainly. So, who was one of the pleasantest people to work with? One of the.
Absolutely. I'm told some people didn't get on with John Pertwee, who was the reigning king of Doctor Who for ages. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't know why. I can't give you a reason. John Pertwee and I just clicked from the moment we ever met. And for many years after, when I went to all those Doctor Who conventions in the UK, we just clicked. Absolutely clicked. So, obviously, my fondness for John Pertwee is as strong as Tom Baker's. It's just that Tom Baker's in this world with us.
Yeah.
And so I think of him more you know, because there's a chance I might meet him at the stamp centre in the Strand
Yeah.
at a Doctor Who signing.
Yeah.
In fact, I did one there with him
Mm.
in the Strand, the stamp centre. And I'm a great friend of Sophie Aldred, another actress I love.
Mm.
Have I gone off the?
No, not
off
at all.
the,
I was thinking. You've seen some of the new Doctor Who.
Yeah, I certainly
and,
have.
Well, first of all, what do you think? Because I was watching. I'm sorry, I can't remember the actor's name, but watching the new Davros from a couple of years ago. I thought you saw some of that, didn't you?
A little.
A little. I thought his performance was a very good homage to Michael Wisher.
That's right.
He'd got the voice right.
That's right.
Yeah. Is that pleasing to see as somebody who worked with the real article, to see somebody?
Well, put it another way. If you're with Wimbledon coming up in June, if you're a top tennis star, and you're mixing with a lot of top tennis stars, and you go on the centre court, there are some people, however great they are the other side of the net, you are looking forward to working with. Right?
Oh, right. Okay.
You just are. You just sort of want to. You love playing tennis at that level with that particular star on the other side of the net, however good he is. And it's the same with me, with my heavy involvement with Davros, for crying out loud.
Of course, yes.
The Genesis was such a huge success, and still is. That obviously I idolise, if you like to use that word, Michael Wisher. And can I tell you now that I'm also equally keen on Terry Malloy, who I also know well. And I think Terry's a great man and a damn good actor. And I'm going to tell 1-2 people connected with Doctor Who conventions that Davros and Nyder, in their own private civilian clothes, should meet together on stage together and talk to each other as if they were Davros and Nyder, except that they can talk outside of sci-fi as well, but they're still the two famous Davros and Nyder. So I could say, I'm just being joking now, I could say, why did you give up golf last year, Davros? Do you know what I mean? Real questions.
Wow.
You get real questions, but he is still Davros and I'm still Nyder.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Like we're interviewing each other.
Yeah.
And with somebody as imaginative as Terry Malloy, it would be a joy to do that.
Yeah.
I know certain Doctor Who conventions would like to get hold of that.
Yeah.
A Davros Nyder meeting again.
That would be quite something.
It could work. With Terry Malloy it would work. I'm sorry I've avoided talking about the other guy that I thought was very good as Davros. But I haven't seen much of him. So I don't want to comment. You know, I saw was I said that's good.
He did have an extraordinary voice. He really captured
What an invention though Davros is. Cool.
Yeah. And you've worked on television with 2 Doctors. And possibly and more, I suppose, on
Bill Baggs would be. I had a big part with Colin Baker.
Of course,
as Doctor
yeah.
Who.
And audio, you sort of.
And audios, yes, with Colin Baker.
Yeah.
BBC Big Finish, yeah. And with Terry Malloy in I, Davros.
Of course.
Yeah, that was a very good part where he discovered the talent of Nyder as a young man. I loved doing that.
Oh, right, okay.
And I was an army lieutenant or something.
Yeah.
And proving to be a rather good commando in action. And he spotted my talent and promoted me. I loved all that.
Yes. But you also even did an audio story, didn't you, about Nyder at the training camp or something, or Nyder at school?
That sounds like that sounds more like I, Davros, which wasn't that long ago.
Oh, that wasn't. Was that the?
Very good script. My goodness me, that was a good script.
Yeah.
I, Davros.
It is. It's very chilling, isn't it? And it takes you right up to.
Well, it's just a very well written script with good parts for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, there's Carolyn Jones, who was a former great friend of mine, an actress, was in it. I reunited with Carolyn. Wasn't she the mother of Davros?
Oh,
She certainly
I
wouldn't have
think
been my mother. God knows who my mother was. I don't think I would have thought Joan Crawford.
Okay. I think I think Davros. Yes, there is something with Davros's mother, definitely. Yeah.
I think it's Davros's
She dies
mother.
quite early, doesn't she? Yeah.
Oh boy, the things people think up. I've enjoyed all this, many CDs I've done. I've enjoyed them all. I love doing CDs with some of the best known names out of Blake Seven and Doctor Who in the cast. It's been wonderful, both for the Beeb and for Alan Stevens, who did Caldor City, of course, which is still selling this minute as we speak. It's amazing, the success of Caldor City. I'm amazed.
And how much of, was tonight's episode that we watched
Of Doctor Who on BBC One?
Was it the first Matt Smith episode you've seen, or have you seen?
Not at all. No.
Oh.
But I tend to watch half an hour of it, and then I'm just going out to meet a friend or
okay.
stir the soup or something around about that time.
Oh, okay. So
I have an early supper.
But you were quite impressed by Matt Smith.
I'm very impressed with Matt Smith. He's got hold of the part. It's wonderful, isn't it? Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant. They got hold of the part and said, "It is mine. It's my part." And that's how good actors do Hamlet. You never mind about who's done Hamlet in the last 200-300 years. When you get hold of it, it's your part, and you rise to that occasion, and it's yours. And that's why Tennant and Eccleston and Matt Smith are so damn good.
Yeah.
They made it their own, and they're damn good at it. Because technology in television now would make John Pertwee faint. If we could resurrect him now in spirit and show him BBC television, the technology presented to him now is so stunning. It looks as though it's $1 million film every time you see it on BBC One now. The sets are just... And what you can do technically for special effects is way beyond anything Pertwee ever dreamed of.
He would
faint if he saw it today.
The inside of the TARDIS is just amazing.
Oh, it's amazing,
yeah. And what did you think of tonight's episode, which I thought was amazing? It completely blew me away.
I don't want to talk too much about tonight's episode, which is Saturday the 14th of May, I believe.
Yes,
that's right.
The Doctor's Wife, it was called. Yeah.
2011, folks. How can I put this? Because of what they can get up to, which is stunning, in scripts and working the hours they do, like a film, the adrenaline must be flowing high with those actors, because it's like making a movie now. You get in front of the camera and they say action, and boy, you have to go. God, you have to be so alert. I'm so stunned now by looking at these magnificent sets and effects and what they can do when they're going in space. Everything connected with the thing is like me being like Pertwee would be if he were here. I'm completely stunned by what I'm seeing. So, and the characters they have, both human and pseudo-human and monsters who talk, the collection is so fascinating. It's like a kid being shown Toyland for the first time in his life in Walt Disney's place, and his eyes opening wide with just total amazement. So I don't get as involved as I used to watch a 7-week story, which was told more like a modern drama play in the days when Fulton Mackay was with us, people of that caliber, you know. It's quite a different experience watching today. I'm stunned by it all. And highly impressed by it all. So that's what I want to say about it. Amen.
It was. I think tonight's one was a particularly good one as well from a story.
Yes, because you're a bit of a you are a connoisseur of sci-fi and Doctor Who. I know that, and you've just said a brilliant point there. Could you repeat that point?
Oh, did I say story, character?
Story.
The character, the whole attitude of it, and the sort of it was very imaginative. It was sort of
very
and I got a bit teary-eyed, of course, because it's the TARDIS. You know, it's such an emotional thing, isn't it? It's so sort of
I know.
And so, do you think that creatively, from an ideas point of view, do you think Doctor Who has changed a great deal?
Wait a minute.
that sort of...
Say that sentence, question again.
Creatively and from an ideas point of view, do you think Doctor Who has changed a great deal?
So you said Doctor Who. What do you mean by Doctor Who, comma, the programme?
Oh yes, sorry, yeah.
It's changed beyond belief. I mean, if Pertwee was led in, you know, let's get him back here, let him visit our planet again, and show him tonight's episode, he would be, to use this Courtney term, gobsmacked. He really would. It's just quite amazing to watch, isn't it? The technology.
Yeah.
And it looks, as I say, as though millions of quid have been spent on each episode. You know, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
But do you look at Matt Smith and do you see other Doctors in him, previous Doctors?
Oh, I see. What a very good question. That's a very good question. I wouldn't like to say that I do see anything of previous Doctors in Matt Smith, and that's precisely why he's so very good at it.
Okay.
He's a talented actor who, I just said earlier, has made it his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't like to say that you could see anything of anybody else. I've got my favourite Doctors. Hartner was marvellous. I'm a great fan of Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
I adore Pertwee as Who, and I adore Tom Baker as Who. I know I've left out Colin, but it's a question of, you know, marks out of 100. I give the people I've mentioned 100 out of 100.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, as opposed to a high mark. Colin would get the high mark, but you know what I mean?
Oh, right, okay.
You don't think you understand me, don't you?
You don't think there have been bad Doctors?
No. No, everybody gave something, didn't they? Yes, I met a cluster of them, shall we say a tribe of Doctors once, at a convention in a hotel in the centre of Hammersmith. I think it's called the Novo Hotel. There was a complete tribe of Doctor Who's, and the only one that came late because he was his own man was Tom Baker. All the rest were sitting there, because the other Doctor Who's talk to each other a lot. But Tom comes, he's his own man, quite rightly, and he came very late and went to another room.
Okay.
Sounds like a load of gossip, doesn't it?
It's quite something to meet a few Doctors.
It was a cluster of them, yes. Fascinating.
But you've sort of only just worked with a number of Doctors, but they're played by other, apart from, is it Sylvester McCoy?
I've made a lovely CD, Doctor Who one with Sylvester McCoy and Sophie.
Yeah.
Very good one. Prosperity Isle, based on Shakespeare's play.
Didn't you do just last? Is that from The Tempest?
From The Tempest, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh,
I enjoyed that very much.
And just in the last couple of weeks, you've done, is it The Dark Dimension, which I believe is based on a film script originally, which they've now adapted.
Yes.
And you've got, is it the first 7 Doctors, but obviously some of them are...
I've got an actor playing Tom Baker, I've got an actor playing Peter Davison and John Pertwee.
Oh, okay.
Those 3. And a cast of 14,
yes.
And it's one of the best scripts I've ever had anything to do with, and I have a dirty, great, big, fat, villainous part in it. It's huge. I am so thrilled. I won't tell you where it's going to end up, because it's not supposed to be known yet. But all I can say is we've recorded it. But what's going to happen to it, we're not allowed to say yet.
Sorry.
That's good. Don't be sorry. I'm innocent. I'm an innocent party.
You had a marvellously villainous Time Lord role, and
I was a Time Lord, you know, in a Bernice Summerfield CD a few years ago. I turned out to be a Time Lord in the days of Sherlock Holmes, starring David Warner and myself as the 2 visiting best parts in the CD. I enjoy CDs immensely. It's like radio work. I love it. I've done BBC radio plays in the 80s, also playing big parts. I've always been lucky to do with radio and CDs in the size of part I've had. So I know what radio work's like. I just love it. It doesn't put me off at all that the script's in front of me.
Yeah. But you said you particularly enjoyed playing this this major villain in this latest script.
Oh, I'm mad about it. It's the... I would claim, I hope it's known to the public in a year or two's time. I would say it's the best sci-fi part I've ever acted. I would go that far. A lot of fans who are maybe listening will say, "Oh, Nyder's your best part, Nyder's your best part," because I know that for years of Doctor Who conventions. But I'm telling you, this one is a cracker. I hope you hear it one day.
Oh yes, certainly. And, actually, just reminded me of something which I'm just going to point out. I mentioned earlier is that a couple of weeks ago in Doctor Who, they dared have a character say the line, "Thank you, that's what I wanted to know." So I think we should hear it from the master, from the maestro.
Oh, that's unfair.
I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Michael Wisher, are you listening, babe? I was talking to Dennis Chinnery at the time as I betrayed him, hit him on the back of the neck and brought out a wee pistol and said to Davros, "Shall I kill him now?" So that's how dangerous I was at the time. Playing a part which I thought was virtually the Nazi supreme head of Secret Service, Gestapo, really.
Sort of Goebbels, kind of.
No, not Goebbels, it would be Himmler.
Himmler, yeah.
Very dangerous character indeed, with huge power. And the only human, it wasn't a human, but you know what I mean, that Davros trusted. It was why are we talking about Nyder? Oh, you wanted me to...
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's put me on the spot. He wants to say, like Hamlet, to be or not to be. Yeah. But Nyder said to Dennis Chinnery, after having betrayed him and got illegal information from him, he said, "Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you."
There you go. You see the classic line from the original source.
Can we go now? Because I...
Oh, you're getting a bit tired.
Yes.
Okay. So I hope everyone's enjoyed the rather surprise impromptu special guest appearance. And
I hope you enjoyed it.
Chat. Yes, and thank you very much again.
Thank you for asking me.
And speak to you soon. Bye bye.
Ciao. Bye bye, everybody.